and hello everyone, and thank you for inviting me for this topic, which comes very timely within the situation that we're facing, specifically with the escalations that we're seeing on every single level. Let me start by saying also that in most of our talks, we would like to also kind of send our condolences for the West on its strategies and the wave of extremism that it is facing. Democracy is definitely under threat in many of these countries, and of course their practices in not holding Israel, one of the most severe and one of the most violent regimes that is not handling any democratic processes accountable for its actions, is also another sign of where we are heading. So yeah, I would like to talk a little bit about the root causes. So as many have already said, Ben-Gvir and Smotrich are not just unique people in the government, but rather this is a continuation of a colonial project that has been ongoing in Palestine for more than 7 decades now. So this is not new, it's just different governments having different administrations to actually proceed with their actions against Palestinians. And yes, as Ken Roth said, it is all based on dominance. And dominance also is very much intertwined with what is apartheid, colonialism, and occupation, all legal frameworks that are unfortunately very much seen and applicable on the Palestinian, in the Palestinian cause and the Palestinian cause for liberation. Now, if we look at a little bit about, I mean, we've heard that today we have over 6,000 Palestinian political detainees or prisoners, depending on their legal status. And again, this does not fall very far away from the issue of dominance and the issue of silencing any type of resistance to the occupation or to the actions that are against the Palestinians, whether it is from the military or whether it is from colonial settlers that are, of course, as you all know, is very much deteriorating, and the escalations of these attacks are being severely documented and extensively documented on how severe they are, whether it is in burning down entire villages or the continuation of the ethnic cleansing. So what is this security notion that is an obsession for the Israeli colonization government? Or also, how do they treat it? What is the security? So the Israeli occupation state has used its power to arrest and detain as means to control the Palestinian population and punish any political activity aimed at challenging the occupation. So Palestinians peacefully protesting, for example, the confiscation of their lands, are subject to arrest and detention. The majority of Palestinian political prisoners are charged with offenses under Israeli military laws and orders. These orders, they employ a very broad definition of security, which no one actually understands. It's intentionally very, very vague. And of course, political expression falls under the security threat. If we look at Military Order 101 from 1968, so exactly after the occupation of the West Bank the West Bank and Gaza was applied, it states that it is forbidden to conduct a protest, march, or meeting, grouping of 10 people or more, where the subject concerns or is related to politics, without permission from the military commander. So there needs to be a permission from a military commander in order for a group to actually assemble or have a meeting. The order also prohibits the distribution of political articles and pictures with political connotations. Similarly, the Military Order 938 also considers supporting a hostile organization by holding a flag or even listening to a nationalist song. What is a hostile action? It falls under the premises of a security threat. Now, these orders, military orders, are only two amongst numerous orders that restricts Palestinian political life in the occupied Palestinian territory and in occupied Palestine. And of course, because of the definition's ambiguity, Palestinians can be arrested and imprisoned for particularly any form of public activity. All the activities of Palestinian students in universities is considered to be a public activity or a political activity, and it is incriminated regardless of whether or not they present a security threat or not, a so-called security threat or not. Now, the particular implication of these broadly defined offenses is the criminalization of many aspects of Palestinian civic life as well. So neither civic life or political life is in any way respected according to, of course, many international laws and, democratic principles that drives the lives of, the entire humanity. So, for example, the political parties that comprises the Palestine Liberation Organization, the PLO, are still considered to be illegal organizations. So carrying a Palestinian flag is also a crime under Israeli military regulations. And participating in demonstrations is also deemed a disruption of public order. And human rights work today, as we have seen, is also criminalized. So if we look at the entire situation and look at what security actually means, anything can fall under security. And the Palestinians who are under occupation that is recognized by most of the countries of the world, the occupation of 1967 territories, is not allowed to be in any way resisted, despite the fact that all kinds of resistance are legal according to international law, of course, under certain regulations and laws. Now, so today the situation is not unique, but yes, we are seeing it more and more vivid. So, and as also Ken mentioned, that there's definitely no peace process that we can look at and see if there is any changes or any hope that is going to come from such a status quo. And the benefit of beholding this status quo is becoming, it's a profit. Also, maintaining prisoners in Israeli prisons is also a profitable business for Israel. So the situation today, 30 years after Oslo, is alarming in the sense that we definitely want to stop hearing people advocating around the world around the one state and two state solutions, because this is not really the issue. The issue is ending occupation, the issue is ending colonization, and the issue is related to self-determination for the Palestinian people. And once self-determination is actually applied, then the Palestinian people will decide on what kind of state would be the most possible and the most suitable one for them. And this is also an invitation to everyone who advocates on Palestine and everyone who is listening to this and thinking, okay, so what should we do? We should just change the narrative. We should know and call things as they are. Colonization is the situation in Palestine. It is not a conflict. It is not a two-sided situation, and it is not definitely a Palestine-Israel situation. It is a colonized country that has been facing severe atrocities. The Palestinian people have been struggling and resisting in every way, which of course are all criminalized regardless of its nature. And so it is very, very important to start shifting the narrative and looking exactly at what Palestinians actually want, and what is the suitable case for the Western investment that is very much illustrated in building a two-state solution that, of course, is just a pure obsession that does not exist. I'll end there. Thank you very much.